Alright, it's time now for the next episode of Video Game Reviews. This is episode 19, I think it is. Let me just check quickly here. Yeah, it is episode 19. And for this one, we are going to complete the N64 Cruisin' trilogy with Cruisin' Exotica. And just like the previous two Cruisin' games, this one was released in the arcade first before coming to the Nintendo 64. Now this game came out in 1999 in the arcade, and then N64 version followed in the year 2000. Now, in this game there are a number of vehicles you can play as. There is a Jeep Wrangler, a Plymouth Prowler, a Chevy Corvette, a Hummer, an SVT Cobra, a muscle car, a Shelby Series 1, a McLaren F1 race car, a Switchblade, and a Dodge Ram. There's also Road King, Jet Car, Rust Bucket, Trippy, and Funky Car in there. And of course you can have up to 4 players in this one. Now, I did just say that the N64 version came out in the year 2000. October, to be 2000 to be precise. And not too long after that, they actually released this game on the Game Boy Color. And I believe this one is the only one in the N64 Cruisin' series to be released on the Game Boy. In any kind of capacity. Now, it is a pretty fun game, and of course, that's to be expected from a racing game. Although it is a lot of fun, there are some things about this game that I do not like. One of them, now if you remember, in Cruisin' USA, you had to finish first in the races in order to advance. And you had an unlimited number of continues. In Cruisin' World, it was a bit easier to advance by only having placed in the top 3. Again, an unlimited number of continues there. But what they did with Cruisin' Exotica is kind of, well, let's just say it's somewhat annoying. Because for this one, not only did they revert back to the Cruisin' USA method for advancing, having to place first in every single race, not only did they do that, but guess what else they did? They also actually give you a limited amount of tries to proceed. Like, for example, if you place second or lower, then you have to use up a life in order to continue on. And if you use up all your lives, then game over. So, what that means is that this game is basically, what this means is that out of all the Cruisin' games on the N64, Cruisin' Exotica then would be the most difficult to beat. Now, I have played this on my channel a couple of times, but I have, as well as some games of this off screen, but I have not been able to beat this game as a result of the criteria for advancing and beating the game in here, which I think was just flat out dumb. But it is still a good game, and it's highly recommended if you're a fan of the Cruisin' games, like I am. And, yeah. So, it's definitely a lot of fun. I do like this game a lot. But, as with all the Cruisin' games, it's probably a lot more fun if you have another player with you. Now, a lot of the times I play this, though, I unfortunately do not have another player with me. with me, so I have to play this by myself. But that's perfectly okay. And on that note, I think we are going to conclude this episode of Video Game Reviews. I thank you very much for joining me. In the next episode of Video Game Reviews, we will be covering Donkey Kong 64. So, hope you'll join me for that review. I will see you all again soon for more videos.